Welcome back. All right, so in the last segment, we kneaded our dough, and it's been sitting in this bowl for about 30 minutes, and it's grown in size. And in the last few minutes of the 30 minutes of that, we boiled some green beans, about a pound of French green beans, and we kept the stems on. We didn't chop them off at all. And so those just got off the stove, and we're going to blanch them in a second. But first, what we need to do is we need to punch this dough ball to make sure that we've gotten our air bubbles out. So we're just going to punch that a few times. We're going to put it back here just for a few minutes, and then while that's sitting, we're going to make our green bean salad. Okay, so like I said, our green beans are ready, and they've been sitting off the stove. And right now we're going to blanch them. So what blanching does is it shocks them. So I don't know if you probably couldn't see that right now, but a bit of smoke came up. So these vegetables are shocked, and it makes them retain their beautiful green color. This is often done with like snap peas and broccoli as well. And it makes them really nice and crisp. Basically, we're icing them to get them really nice and crisp. We soften them a bit in our boiled water, so they're definitely not going to taste like how they would taste raw. So now we're just going to let these sit here for a second. And I can already feel the difference from when I was taking them out. All right, so like I said, when we went out to eat in France at this fondue restaurant, it was near Saint Michel, like the bakery I said before. It was a really cool fondue restaurant. I'll tell you more about it later on when we make our fondue. But they served us this green bean salad, and it was just so simple and really delicious. They also served it with roasted potatoes, which are very easy to make. As well, just cut up tomatoes, put them in the oven with any like herbal seasoning you have. Rosemary is really delicious. Sprinkle some olive oil on, put it in the oven for maybe like 30-40 minutes, and you have a beautiful roasted potato salad. But today we're making our green bean salad. So the dressing for the salad that they had, as from what I could taste, was very simple. And so I'm sort of replicating it here today by using half of a lemon, some really thinly sliced shallot. And so now what shallot is, it looks like this, and on the inside, it's purple, just like a red onion. But it doesn't have as strong of a taste as an onion. It's kind of, people say, like a combination between a purple onion and garlic. So because of that, we don't want anyone biting into a huge raw piece of it. So we've sliced it really nice and thin, just along the clove, and we've just chopped that in half once, and that's it. And we're going to use just about a half of a clove. They're much bigger than garlic cloves. The entire bulb is like this big, and so you're going to use about half a clove. So this whole thing amounts to like very loosely like a tablespoon and a half or 2 tablespoons if you want to measure it out that way. So that's the first thing that we're going to put into our glass bowl, and remember to slice it thinly. The next thing we're going to add is the juice of half a lemon. We're only going to use about 2 tablespoons of that juice. So this whole thing is going to be really just bright and lemony and delicious. Okay? And then we're going to add some of our Cola Vita balsamic vinegar, my favorite. Now, you could add regular white vinegar to it, and I think that's the way that I had it when I was in France, and that's a more typical way of making a dressing for green beans. But I really love the taste of balsamic vinegar. I love it. So we're going to add just about a tablespoon of that. And we're just going to add some salt and pepper. Just a bit, because what I didn't tell you before is when we had the green beans boiling in the pot for 3 to 5 minutes, we added about a teaspoon of salt. So you don't need to add that much salt here. And also the balsamic is a little bit salty. So right now we're just going to whisk this together. And you can just use a fork. You just want to make sure everything's combined. I think I'm even going to add a bit more lemon to it. All right. And now I'm just going to drain the green beans, and then we're going to dress it. All right, so now we're just going to dress the green beans. And it just looks, this is one of those things that if you have it out on a table, it just looks, and this could be a French dish or any kind of dish, American, anything. If this is out on a table, it just looks so beautiful, and it looks like you put so much time into it. This entire dish takes maybe 7 minutes to make. So this is a really great, interesting, flavorful thing. The shallots bring out so much flavor in the green beans. It tastes delicious. So this is gonna sit while we're making the rest of our bread and while we're making our fondue. This is just gonna sit and it's gonna stay beautiful and crunchy and crisp, and the dressing's just gonna soak into it and taste really amazing. All right, so we punched our bread, we got the air bubbles out, and now we're gonna transfer it onto our baking sheet. And it's just such a soft consistency right now, and that's what you want. It smells incredible, and like I said, it's a long process, but it's really, really rewarding in the end. So basically what we're gonna wanna do right now is we're just gonna sort of like wanna roll, and as we're rolling it, we're gonna wanna extend it out. And what I did over the break is I washed off our pan, our baking sheet again, and I greased it with some butter, and I put some cornmeal on it. You could also use flour, whatever you've got on hand. It's no big deal. So this is already looking absolutely beautiful. And now what we're gonna wanna do, and you see this when you get your beautiful French baguette at the supermarket, but now you're gonna get it from your own oven. We're gonna make 3 gashes, and you're going to use a sharp knife or a chef's knife in order to do that. And we're just gonna cut in on a diagonal. I think I'm even gonna make 4 on this one because it's long. And this is just, it just pops in the end, and it just makes it look so beautiful. And the last thing that we're gonna do is we're just gonna brush it with some egg whites. And don't throw the egg white out because we're gonna use some more egg white later as well. And now this is going to sit for another 40 minutes and rise again. And the reason for the egg white is so that it'll be nice and shiny. And like I said before, French bread is very characteristically really crisp on the outside. So that's the reason why we're using the egg whites. We're just gonna cover this. I have a damp paper towel right here. And we're gonna cover it. And we're going to let this sit and rise for another 40 minutes. And after that 40 minutes, we're gonna bake it, and in 20 minutes, it's ready to eat. Next up, we're gonna finally be making our cheese fondue with Swiss and Gruyere cheese. Can't wait, see you in a minute.